Some may say you gotta find your way to let go and let your inside out. Oh, don't rush, make it last forever. Get lost so we might find each other. Oh, dig deep so you can reach and then tear it apart. Keep being who you are. Heal the wounds and show the scars. It's all too plain, yeah, so bizarre. But we'll get by, yeah, we'll get by. Keep being who you are. Heal the wounds and...
Hey! No, I just finished. It was good. I mean, he didn't even look at my face, but you know how it is. Yeah, it was good though. We shot some beautiful scenes. What the hell? Can't be. No, nothing. Hey, I gotta go. I'll call you later. Excuse me. Are you by chance...
Yes, I am.
So you really are fashion?
Fashion in person. Or materialized, if you will.
So confused. How is this even possible?
I know it's quite weird. Not that many people recognize me, actually. Have you ever seen the movie Death Takes a Holiday?
No. I mean, I have no idea what you just said. This is so confusing.
Forget about it. It's just a metaphor that sometimes works, but it's fine. No one really gets it. You didn't tell me your name.
No, I mean, I didn't really expect to be bumping into this when I woke up this morning. It's not really an everyday situation. It's, wow. You know, I work with you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a filmmaker, fashion filmmaker. I didn't know you smoked. Seems a little out of date, out of you.
Well, that's what bloggers say, right? Not very green, hasn't gone vintage yet. Perhaps inappropriate, but you know, old habits. You said you're a director?
You could say that. It just seems a bit pretentious for what I do, you know?
I get it. But you shouldn't think about it like that.
Okay, well, I gotta go. It was nice to talk to you, fashion, in person. Sorry. Have a nice day.
Thanks. You too.
I'm sorry. You have to understand me. I work with you every day, and I have thousands of questions and doubts in my mind, and I don't mean to be a pain in the ass. Far from it, but could you by chance sit with me for a minute and help me clarify some thoughts? You know, just get stuff straight?
No. I prefer we take a walk. Come with me. So tell me, is it easy to work with me? In the sense of satisfaction? After a full day of work, do you enjoy it? Do you like me?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there's easy and hard days, but it's definitely something I like more and more. Even though this whole fashion thing's quite new for me, I like you. I just can't stop questioning myself all the time.
It's important to question yourself, don't you think?
Yes, I agree. But maybe it'd be easier if I stopped trying to find the meaning of life in this profession, you know?
What do you question exactly?
First of all, I still can't believe we're talking. This is crazy. See, my family, they're pretty conservative, mostly intellectuals. Both my brothers and my parents are lawyers, and I went to medical school but dropped out. And then I went to law school and dropped out again. And eventually I went to cinema school, far from where my parents ever imagined. But I graduated. Good for them. And now here I am and working and talking to you. I don't mean to belittle you, but can you imagine the happiness of my parents?
I think I see what you mean.
Imagine the questions in my head. I quit a job considered relevant to my parents to do something irrelevant. No offense.
And is that what you think as well?
No, of course not. But it'd be great if you could give me some tools to better argue with and understand you.
All right. What do you want to know?
Let's see. For example, what defines you? What makes you relevant to people, to society itself?
Well, I'm a behavior in continuous evolution. Society leads me.
Cool. Not what I expected. This might seem silly, but does fashion have this, like, favorite color or form? Something that can make sense in my head? That's so abstract.
All of it is relative to time and space. It's just not that simple.
I know, but would you say, for example, that fashion is an art form, and by working with you that I am an artist?
Well, that's hard to say. Let me see. I personally think, and when I say personally, I mean it. This is just one point of view. You can and should have yours about it too. Anyway, basically art is the way you, people, society choose to express emotions, culture, history, and personality by using aesthetic values such as balance, harmony, and beauty. It then manifests in many ways: music, literature, painting, sculpture, or myself, fashion, right? Even though I'm not in my essence created as an art, I first of all have the function to cover and protect the body. But it's my evolution that transforms me, taking me to the state of art. Do you follow?
Yeah, interesting. Let me see if I understood. What you're basically saying is that you can be art, but aren't necessarily so. It's confusing.
Look, what do you see?
A photograph?
Tell me about it.
You want me to,
Yeah, describe it. Describe what you feel when you're looking at it.
Well, a unicorn playing the accordion, man just in a suit with red nails. Well, when I look at it, I feel kind of weird. I'm kind of into it as well. The more I look at it, the more it seems like a mirror and I somehow see myself in it. Maybe the contrast between the man's suit and the red nails, in some way, this provokes my sexuality. The photo itself, I feel like it represents you, fashion. Yeah, there's this abnormality or normality, define normal, right? It's definitely a strong image for me, and the more I look at it, the more I see it's like an illusion that fashion, or you and me and people in general, beneath the surface, we're all quite deeply complex. Maybe I've gone too far, no?
Not at all. You see, this image represents the voice of his creator. It's an expression. And if somehow this image can generate reflection, feelings, or lead you beyond this physical reality, it ceases to be just an image. You know, like in art, a pipe can't just be a pipe. It's the same in fashion, where a hat can't just be a hat. And it's no longer art, just a piece of clothing. Do you understand my reasoning?
Yeah, I think I do.
Look, I'm not a t-shirt, remember that. I'm a system that can take your everyday clothing to a larger context, whatever it may be, political, social, or just inspiring personal expression. That's when I really reach my full potential.
What's your favorite color?
Come on, let's go. Oh, by the way, this is a great slogan. I'm not a t-shirt. You should print it on a t-shirt. I have a great relationship to all the other artists too, you know. In fact, I was with the whole gang last week.
By gang, you mean?
Well, like me, they also exist. We have a little group that meets every Thursday. Or in fact, it's their group. I frequent.
You mean you talk to music, to literature?
Yeah, sure. It's a small group, and they have their own way of doing things. They're old, fine arts. You know, architecture, literature, music, poetry, sculpture, and theater that's married to dance, which I love. Isn't it fascinating?
What about cinema?
Cinema. He appears too from time to time with photography. But they're much younger. These guys are dinosaurs, you know? They're just there. The Great Pyramids, Michelangelo, Mozart. They know so much. If you truly want to understand me, you have to absorb them, the fine arts. Understand them completely, no exceptions.
Okay, I will. It'd be so great to have this conversation with cinema.
You know what? You call cinema the seventh art. That always bothered me. I should be called the seventh art. I've been here much, much longer than he has. I've been a part of practically every artistic revolution. And what do I get? Futility, luxury, that I'm irrelevant. Come on, give me a break. Don't you think it's unfair that you don't nominate me? Don't act like it doesn't matter. It matters to me, okay? And you can call me whatever you want, ostentatious, egocentric, or vain. But the truth is that you owe me recognition for my role throughout history. Come on, let's go.
And what do you guys talk about?
You don't talk much, you more listen and absorb the experience of these guys. It's not a chat, it's more like a class, you know.
I can't imagine. It must be incredible.
Kind of is. With photography and cinema, things flow pretty easy, kind of equal. At one point, talking to both of them, I had this idea of expressing myself on a different platform. Not that painting didn't do it. It did it very well, but I just felt like I needed more. I felt outdated and I wanted to expand. You know, I'm the one who's supposed to stay ahead and set the trends, right?
I don't understand. Are you talking about fashion film?
Yes, I am. And you can thank me, because if it wasn't for us and that evolution, you'd be unemployed now. Or you'd be employed differently, in which case your father would thank me. But yeah, I'm talking about fashion film, what you now can call fashion film. Do you know how it occurred to me? I was out walking one day and I saw a drawing on a wall. In fact, the drawing covered the entire building. And unless you walked around the whole building, you didn't see the entire drawing. That's when I thought, maybe that's how people feel when they see me in a magazine.
Really?
Yeah, because when a designer creates something, he wants it to be seen as a whole, not just from an angle or in a static way. I thought maybe people would enjoy to present and watch me moving as well.
Well, I appreciate that, but if you would have done that before, I might not have spent so much money in college.
Listen, it's God who creates things in 7 days, not me. It took a lot of time and effort before I could be presented in film.
How long?
How long what?
How long did it take?
Maybe about 100 years.
What? Really? I thought fashion film had been around for only, what, 5, 10 years?
Trust me, 100 years is not that much time. Don't give me that face. I'm not a history teacher, okay? It happened naturally, and a lot of things influenced. I'll be brief. When I first saw myself in illustrations of magazines, it was like seeing myself in the mirror for the first time. Then came fashion photography, tremendous covers, but it still took me a while to reach the aesthetic that I have today. Great photographers, designers, and musicians are all linked directly and indirectly to my evolution. It's pretty difficult to say a starting point or a single figure responsible. Man Ray, for example, was one of the first to conduct studies with me in movement. But he was not the only one. And then cinema came and Hollywood exploded. The movies were the greatest trendsetters at the time. Take smoking, for example. Perhaps 30% you can say is my fault that people started to smoke so much. But the rest, you have to blame on cinema and Hollywood. They don't like to talk about it, but we all know. Anyway, cinema uses the great power of communication. And he turns out to be the largest showcase in the world for fashion designers. They began to design the costumes for the films. This fusion is also a part of my DNA, you know. And with this experience, the designers began to influence the work that reached the screen. Of course, if you'll ask cinema, he'll deny it. But it's all there. Breakfast at Tiffany's with Audrey Hepburn, or Belle de Jour with Catherine Deneuve, designed by Yves Saint Laurent. Come on.
What a journey.
And it doesn't stop there. Parallel to cinema, also helping me to evolve were other photographers like Erwin Blumenfeld, Guy Bourdin, and let's see, Richard Avedon. A lot of great people, stylists, makeup artists, fashion editors, incredible models, all helped me to evolve. And then the 80s and the 90s came with the video clips, filled with self-expression, experimentation, and unlike Hollywood, my role was protagonist as well. Using the creative freedom of music videos, I joined famous artists, Michael Jackson, David Bowie, Madonna, and many others, who, through me, expressed and strengthened their image. And I had the chance to really mature. Finally, the internet. Online channels and platforms, gigabytes, digital cameras, tablets, smartphones. Photographers and directors now have accessible tools to interact with me in motion. And here you are, employed.
Well, when you put it that way, I guess you really did go through a lot to express yourself in motion.
I told you, I'm a behavior in continuous evolution. There is no wrong way to represent me, as long as it's done well.
I wish my parents were here face to face having this talk. But maybe they'd change their opinion.
Why? Do you have a different mind now?
Yeah. It's just the way they think, you know? They have this certain conception that you aren't relevant to society. Again, you just represent futility and consumerism. I mean, look at you. Yeah, look. You're beautiful and glamorous. And who's to say you're not using all this charm to convince me and society of something negative you're trying to hide? Because I'm sorry, I can't not question myself when I see a person spending a fortune on a bag when a child is starving. Or forced to manufacture that bag just to survive. Come on, something's wrong.
Interesting. But I prefer the word frivolity instead of futility. Purchasing power instead of consumerism. I'm not in a defensive position here because these and other points you mentioned are part of my character sometimes. It's true. Like everyone, I have pros and cons. I'm not oblivious. I just don't boast myself of my faults. That's not very fancy, you understand?
I mean, of course.
And I do like to remember that I am a behavior. I reflect the context, how you and society thinks and acts in a particular time. I'm led to consumerism and futility, but that's not my essence. It's you, society, that turns me into that. And then again, it's up to each individual to distinguish between personal expression and vanity. When a person decides to enhance their own appearance, to seek individuality, it gives me life. The desire you people have for personality makes me alive. It makes people alive. Anyway, if I were seen from another perspective, maybe the question would be different.
What do you mean?
Well, maybe people should be asking if the search for individuality or the affirmation of personality are things that should be associated to futility and consumerism.
Yeah, but...
But what? You don't think you need me to get there? Listen, have you ever seen how confident a businessman feels in a tailor-made suit and tie? How do you feel in high heels? Besides the feminist point of view, when you're not obliged to wear them, but when you wear them because you want to. Don't you feel good?
Yeah, I do now, but that's not the point. In the first place, if it wasn't for you, I would feel good about myself without heels or anything.
Come on. Who do you think you are? Gandhi? Listen, you people are not as evolved as you think you are. To fish, you need a fishing pole. And so far, I'm a great tool to make you feel good. I didn't create high heels to make you fragile or put you in a box. Society did. In my way of seeing, I created a beautiful tool to give women confidence and posture so you can look straight into a man's eyes and put years of oppression behind. But if you don't think you need me to get there, good luck. What?
I just find it interesting that you provide this to society. The way you turn things around, futilities now are our fault and you're the hero.
I'm not a hero.
I don't know.
I distinguish your heroes. Batman, Superman. Here I am again, giving you tools, wings for your imagination, fantasies.
Well done with the Superman costume.
What?
A man with his underwear on top of his leggings.
Okay. Seriously, what is your name?
I'm Josephina.
Josephina. So would Josephina think of burning bras in the fight for women's right as a futility? The invention of women's pants to make life easier while their husbands fought in the war as useless? Or what about all the 70s punk political movements and their achievements? What would you call it? I mean, how do you recognize a certain time or social movement that have occurred throughout history? That's on me. That's right, you recognize the time as you recognize me, the clothing. And I don't even have to go very far. Just look around you. How do you identify someone? You don't. I do. I can inform you who's a policeman, or a chef, or a postman. And if you're in trouble, I can identify that that guy over there, he can save your life. So now you tell me, Josephina, would you call me useless? Would you call all this futility?
Coming. So fat it looks like an eclipse was covering the sun.
Oh, that's funny. You have a good sense of humor for someone's kind of retarded. Anyway, what did you talk to anyone about tonight? What's going on?
I did. Did you have some coins, actually? Not really, but I had this crazy idea.
Come on, seriously, you've done nothing this whole entire time. What's going on?
I did! I was waiting for you and trying to survive without lunch. Seriously, though, I had this great idea for a fashion film, and we called this Seven
Art. Some may say you gotta find your way to let go and let your inside out. Oh, don't rush, make it last forever. Get lost so we might find each other. Oh, dig deep so you can reach and then tear it apart. Keep being who you are. Heal the wounds and show the scars. It's all too plain, yeah, so bizarre. But we'll get by, yeah, we'll get by. Keep being who you are. Heal the wounds and show the scars. is a price to pay.